Hey everybody, Ryan here. Alright, gonna quickly go over all the team stats as of the 20th of February. So I'm sorry ahead of time, you're gonna see some placeholders between each of these, some dark screen. That is just because my computer fudged up the saving of these and did not save last week's numbers, so I only had the numbers from the 14th. And as you can tell, that's 2 weeks ago, so comparing those would have been kind of really disastrous because there would have been a large difference. Alright, anyways. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that little red subscribe square in the bottom right hand corner of the screen and also underneath the screen if you don't see one in the bottom right hand corner. Alright, other than that, let's get started with the team stats as of the morning of the 28th of February. Alright, see, there's my first placeholder. Alright, so Toronto is your top team with 16 wins on the season so far, followed by Tampa and Edmonton with 14 wins each. Winnipeg, Florida, and Carolina at 13. Vegas and Minnesota with 12. St. Louis, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Boston, Colorado, and Washington all have 11. So let's see. Your division leaders are Toronto here. Tampa is tied with Florida, so they're right there. Florida is right there. Vegas is right there. And Washington is the lowest amount of wins for a division leader. Alright. So let's see. Losses, not a good category like I previously stated, but Ottawa has 15 losses on the year. Vancouver has 14. Detroit with 13. Nashville with 11. Anaheim and Calgary with 10. San Jose, Edmonton, Columbus, Buffalo, and Arizona all with 9. Now, out of these teams, only Edmonton is in the playoffs currently. Obviously, they don't lose games in overtime. Alright. Points-wise, you got Toronto, like I said, top of the league, 34 points, followed by the two Florida teams, Florida and Tampa, tied with 29. Edmonton with 28. Like I said, they don't lose in overtime. 0. Every other team on this list, other than Minnesota, has an overtime loss at least. Alright, Winnipeg and Carolina had 27, followed by Chicago and Washington. Then Vegas with 25. St. Louis, New York Islanders, Boston, Minnesota all at 24 points. So that's your top 10, mixed with a few ties there at the bottom. So that's your top 10 teams with points. I mean, Toronto's definitely been the best team this year thus far. Florida is probably the biggest surprise on the list. I don't think anybody picked them. Chicago's another big surprise, being 7th, or tied for 7th. I didn't pick them. St. Louis has been a surprise how pedestrian they've been so far. I mean, yes, they have a winning record. Yes, they're in the top 10 teams in the league in points, but they also have a lot of injuries right now, and that's why they seem very pedestrian of late. But it looks like they're getting Tarasenko back. Let's see if that helps them at all. Alright, let's check out the goals against. Another bad category if you're at the top of this list. Ottawa has allowed 91 goals against. Vancouver, 85 goals against. Ouch. Vancouver definitely, I think, is suffering from losing some of the guys they lost last year in the offseason. Columbus, shockingly, is third worst with 72. It's a team that's really in limbo right now. They are not playing well. They made that big trade. It has not helped them thus far, really, that much. So, it is what it is, but that's where they are. I mean, Detroit's allowed 71. San Jose, after last night's 7 goals against, is at 70. Edmonton, 69. I mean, they're a team that's second in their division in the North, and they've allowed that many goals, but they've also scored 79. So they're obviously going with the idea of, we'll just outscore everybody and hope for the best. Hope somebody doesn't figure out how to stop them. Like their last game where they got shut out. That was Toronto, right? Yeah, Toronto beat them 4-0 yesterday. Washington and Calgary have allowed 65. Oh, and St. Louis, sorry. And Chicago 64 goals against. So on this list, let's see. We have Edmonton, Washington, and St. Louis all are and Chicago, sorry, are all in the playoffs right now. And they're in the bottom tens of goals against. Yikes. Chicago's scored 65, St. Louis 66, Washington 69 goals for, and Edmonton 79. So, fairly pedestrian numbers for those four teams, and especially since one of them is the actual division leader. Alright, let's see. Average goals against per game, Ottawa still tops in this one, allowing just under 4. San Jose is back up there again, just under 4 as well. Vancouver 3.5, Pittsburgh 3.32, Columbus 3.27, Washington, a division leader, is allowing 3.25 goals against per game. Nashville 3.15, St. Louis 3.1, Detroit 3.09, and Philly 3.06. Ironically, these are the only 10 teams that have more than 3 goals against per game. How Anaheim's not on that list, I don't know. Alright, goals for per game, not per game, sorry, this is just overall goals for. Edmonton leads with 79 goals for to Toronto's 78. And Toronto has a game in hand, so they may pass them with that game. Next up, we have Winnipeg, Tampa, and Washington, all with 69 goals for. Vancouver 67, St. Louis 66. Montreal, Carolina, and Chicago all have 65 goals for. So let's see. I believe every single one of those teams is, except for Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver is the only team in that top 10 that is not in the playoffs right now. It's kind of incredible. I believe they are also in the goals against. Yeah, Vancouver is allowed the second most goals against. 67 goals for, 85 goals against. Kind of shocking. It's like the amount of goal where they're at in the standings for that. They should be a better team, but their problem is that goals against is second worst in the entire league. That's the issue. Alright, goals for per game. Tampa is a top scoring team by average. 3.63 goals for. Toronto 3.55. Winnipeg and Washington 3.45. Edmonton 3.43. Philly 3.41. Then you drop down to Montreal and Carolina 3.25. Florida 3.2 and Minnesota 3.17. And still bottom is Anaheim with, I believe, 1.88 now, I believe it is. Terrible. Only one with less than 2 goals for per game. I believe all these teams are in the playoffs too right now. Yep, every single one was in the playoffs. Yep. Alright, power play percentage. You got Buffalo at the top, 32.8, Toronto 32.4, Chicago 32.3. Good numbers. I mean, that's probably why Chicago is in the race at all at this point. They've been an amazingly good power play team. Dallas, bottom of their division now, Dallas, is fifth best with 27.9. I believe they are the only ones on this list not in the playoffs at this point. Which is disappointing because that good a percentage they should be in. Penalty kill, Colorado is your top team, 89.5, followed by Tampa, 88.1. The only ones with 88 or higher. Amazingly, Anaheim is doing well in the penalty kill. Fifth best behind Colorado, Tampa, Vegas, and Boston. Then followed by Los Angeles, the Rangers, Minnesota, Arizona, and the Islanders. So 4 teams on this list are not in the playoffs, yet they have a very good penalty kill. But then again, San Jose was the top penalty kill last year, and they were the third worst team in the league. So, or second worst. Where's second worst last year? Yeah, second. So this is where we're at with the power plays and penalty kills. I mean, Colorado is amazingly not in the top 10 in power play percentage. That's kind of surprising. They're at 23.9. Wow. Vegas's power play has not been doing good. Look at that, 18.2. Anaheim is second worst, but amazingly, Minnesota is worse. Wow. Kind of surprised. Alright, well, as you can see, that's the end of my video. Alright. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And help me get to that 50 subscriber milestone. We're close. Almost there. 40 out of 50. I'm shooting for that. Then I'll shoot higher after that. But for now, one milestone at a time. It's like if you're a hockey player, if you're a goal scorer, shoot for that 50 goals before you shoot for higher. Alright? So let's go get that. And let me know what you think of the team stats so far. What do you think they show for you? I mean, you definitely can see teams having good stats and just not being good teams still anyways. So let me know what you think. And make sure to like, comment, share. I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.